If you're serious about becoming a DevOps or cloud engineer, don't just watch one video and leave. I know, even I have done that, but you can continue this series way ahead because in this series, we are not just learning Linux, we are building real world understanding step by step as a DevOps engineer. So make sure you hit subscribe because the next videos are going to level this up even more. Alright, so let's hear today's story. So today I want you to imagine like you are running a fast growing tech startup and your developers are pushing code. Your DevOps engineers must be deploying infrastructure and your interns. Interns always try to not to break anything in production. That's the best they can do. But here is the problem. Now everyone has access to the same server. Now imagine what could happen with you. One wrong command, one accidental delete, and your entire system is gone away. But now the question is that how do real companies deal with this? Let me tell you, they don't trust everyone with everything. That is why they create users. They organize them into the groups and they control exactly who can do what. Because in real DevOps world, managing access is not optional. It is a good practice. It is good for security, stability, and it is survival in this era for sure. In this video, I'm going to show you how Linux handles this like a pro, how to create users, how to manage groups, and how to control access like you're running a real world production server. So by the end of this video, you won't just learn commands, you'll start thinking like DevOps engineer. So let's go ahead and get started with today's lecture. Welcome to the fourth lecture of third section. In this section, we are going to create some of the dummy users and we will assign them to the few groups that will also be created by us. We are going to do this dry run because I want you to manage like a DevOps engineer if you are running a team on a server level. So you should really understand about how to set up the users and control their access. In real world DevOps environment, you don't run everything as a single user. You create users for developers, testers, deploy agents, each with its own access level. Groups help you to manage the permissions collectively, like giving developers access to, let's say, var www, where most of your files are hosted, or maybe etc and where your nginx is there. These words might be looking like a jargon to you for now, but in upcoming lectures, we are going to learn all about them. So you need to understand the basic difference between users and group. So you can say that root is a user, but there is a group which could be like so many users, which is why it can be called as a collection of users. Maybe you can add all of those users into a separate group base. This will help you to control the access of the files and folders. It can organize the roles for your team, like your team may consist of the developers, QA, admin, manager, and many more. So it will be easier for you to manage all of them if you know that where to grant the permission to which user and how to assign that user to which group. It will help you to isolate the environment for all the different groups like developers, testers, and production team, which is how the things works on the server level. Before we jump on to the practical part of it, you need to understand few commands that will help you to manage the users. For example, you can type command that is called as sudo add user and then whatever the username is, this is how you can add the users. Maybe you can change the password of those users, or if there is someone out there in your company who is leaving the company, maybe you can log that user, or maybe you can unlock the user. In case of emergency, you can also do these things. And maybe you can delete the user along with the home directories that are made into our home folder. Let's go ahead and try all these commands practically in order to give you a deep dive. Alright, so creating the users and everything is a very high level of management, which is why I would recommend you to just go ahead and sign up as a root. Because in the whole tutorial, I will just keep on writing the password again and again. And even for you, if you want to make your life easier, just go ahead and go with sudo space -i in order to log in as a root inside your system. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's try to add a new user, which can be added as add user. And then let's say we can call it as one of our first developer. So when I hit enter, it is going to ask me the password of that user. So maybe I can put some password for him here. I can retype that password, and maybe I can give any random full name, room number 1. You can put anything, or you can simply press enter and say yes, and see your user is just now created. Now let's go ahead and see that where are the files associated related to these users. Inside the files, when I go into the other location, into the Ubuntu, which means I'm inside the root right now. Now you will find most of these things inside the etc folder. Inside the etc folder, you have something that is called as passwd. So maybe I can just go ahead and search it right here. So inside the etc, you have this file that is named as passwd. Let's go ahead and try to inspect this. When I go on the bottom of it, you can see that here is the user that we have just now created. But then how can you find these things when you are on server level? Simple. You can just go with cat command and you can navigate to etc. Inside etc, you have passwd file. You want to pipe the output from it and see, is there something related to the user that we have just now created, dev1? Let's hit enter, and it's the same thing out here, that you have a user that says dev1, his name is this, and it was created some times back. Maybe you can check this thing as well inside the logs. Okay, this thing is done. I would like to show you one more thing that can be there into the home directory that will open more of your fundamentals. So if I go into the home directory inside my root, you will see that there is a new folder that is just now created named as dev1. So this is the folder of that user, dev1, Zod. So maybe you can just navigate it inside the terminal as well. This is pretty easy out here. So that's how you create a user. All right. So next thing is how to add them to a group. So again, the command is very simple. You simply have to write here as add, or maybe I can just clear it so that you can see the command properly. Okay, so in order to add it to a group, you can simply write here as add group, and maybe let's say we create a new group named as DevOps. So this is the new group that we have just now created. Now, what if I want to add our developer to this group? How can we do that? That's simple again. You simply have to use this command, that is user mod. These are for the modification that you're gonna do to the user. So you're simply going to add it to the group of DevOps. And who are you going to add it? Our dev1, the user that we have just now created. Hit enter and it's done. Let's go ahead and see the groups associated for dev1. Now you can see that dev1 user is associated to the groups called as DevOps. Now there are more things that I've told you about the user modification, like you can change the password, you can log the user, unlock it, delete it, and many more. So in order to change the password of this user, you can simply write here as pass dev1. When you'll hit enter, it will prompt you for the new password, and this is how you can set a new password for this user. And it doesn't match. Let me try once again. It is giving me a warning for the bad password, but anyway. So this is how you change the password of any user, right? Now, you might want to lock his account, like I told you, because during audits, incidents, or there is any offboarding, you might want to lock his account. So how you can do it? You can simply go with passwd -l for lock, and then define the username, hit enter, and then you can see the password is changed. This is what is coming up right in front of us, but basically the password is not changed, it is logged. So in order to unlock it, maybe you can just go with passwd -u to unlock, and then write the username. Hit enter, and then you can see the password is changed, but as a matter of fact, this user account is now unlocked. Since now we have done different kind of things, there is one more thing that I would like to do, is to make a directory that is accessible just for this user. So maybe I can just create a new directory inside the OPT folder where we have these kind of stuff, because if you are just going to host a website or any Apache services or anything like that, it is going to be there inside the OPT folder, right? So let's do it into the same fashion. So maybe I'm just going to catch the directory as OPT, or maybe first of all I have to go inside the root and I need to catch the directory as OPT. And here I can create a directory mkdir, and let's name this directory as DevOps folder. So DevOps -folder. And this is how I have created the directory. So maybe I can just go ahead and change the ownership of it. So let's go with chown in order to change the ownership. Let's give the ownership to DevOps. And give the path of it. So this is inside the OPT and DevOps folder. Hit enter and it's done. Last thing, I might want to change the permission of it, and that can be done with the help of chmod. And I'm gonna go with 770. This means the root can access it, this user can access it, but others cannot. So I'm going to change the permission of my DevOps folder. So I'm simply going to write as DevOps folder, hit enter, and let's go ahead and try to check these things with ls-l. And you can see that right now, these are the users who are having the access of it, or maybe the owner of it. And this is the permission that I've changed right here. Now, this is how you manage the folders, and how you create the folders that are only shared for DevOps group, which means whoever is associated to DevOps group can access it. This is a common use case because, given that the deploy agents or the DevOps engineers or shared configuration or deployment areas or maybe your Q&A team, this is how you are going to manage them all. Great. Now we have created the users and, played with it, but right now we don't need it anymore, right? So we should know that how to delete a user. It's as simple as that. You're gonna go with delete user and simply write the name of that user, and that's how you can delete it. But there is an exception. It is not going to delete the directories that are right here into the home folder. I also want to delete the directory so that there is no trace of it. It is not taking any unusual space or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to delete the user, but I'm also going to use this command to remove the home directory of this user, that is dev1, not the DevOps folder, that is dev1. So delete user, and then I'm going to delete these directories as well. Hit enter, and it is removing the files, and it has removed everything. Now you can see into the home folder as well. It has removed all the files associated with that user. So that's how you play around with the users. You should know how to play around with the users. And maybe there are few more things that might be beneficial for you as an extra tip for this chapter. So inside the etc, you have all the management of these things. You know this already. So let me go ahead and get inside it. Inside the etc, you have passwd file. Let me just go ahead and navigate it, passwd file. So this is the file that keeps the account for all the users that are available, right? This is for the users, but now you might also wanna check about the groups. So here you have this file that is named as group. So here it is. So right now you can see that this DevOps group is right here. So maybe you can just delete that as an assignment. So here is how you navigate all the users associated to it. There is one more file called as the shadow file. Now, I'm not going to open it, though it is secured with hashes. It is not going to harm me anywhere, but then you should get to know that where are your passwords. You have this shadow file, that's where your passwords are. So these are some of the extra things that you might want to know, right? So this is how you play around with the users and the user management. These are the commands to protect and isolate your environment inside the Linux. So let's go ahead and let me give you the recap and the assignment associated with this lecture. Okay, so now you know how to create and delete the users. Now you know how to create the groups as well. And now you also know that how to assign and remove the users from those groups. You also know that how you can create few of the directories that are only accessible by the responsible person that you have assigned. You can also secure and share the folders using the group ownership, which is really good practice. It is exactly the same in AWS or any other cloud provider. But if you know the crux of it, the fundamental of it, it gives you a great feeling and confidence to do it on the server level when you're using cloud computing. Before we end this lecture, here is the assignment for this lecture. You just need to create two users, that is QA1 and QA2. It will be really beneficial for you if you have a QA team inside your server who is continuously testing and giving you the feedbacks of it. But then that chaos must stick to the QA team only, which is why you'll create a new group that can be named as QA team. Add these users to the QA team. Create OPT folder, create a folder inside OPT with QA folder, assign it to QA team, lock QA2 temporarily, and then again delete QA1 completely with the home directory. So this will give you a quick refresher. It will make your fundamentals more strong. So that's it for this lecture. I hope you're enjoying it. I'll see you again in the next lecture.